We'll talk about 6 things that we wish we would have known when we first started painting minis in this video brought to you by Hero Forge.
So this video is definitely for anybody who's starting out miniature painting, but I'm sure even experienced mini painters can find some useful tips in here, because we can always improve on our craft. So the first tip is take care of your brushes. This is the tool that you're using, so whether you're using a really expensive brush or even inexpensive brushes just from the craft store, if you're washing them well after every use, using some kind of brush soap, and doing kind of a twisting motion to help maintain and reform the tips of your brushes, you're going to find your brushes last a lot longer, and they're going to just do the job better if you take just a little bit of extra time maintaining them.
When I first started painting minis, I a lot of the times would just go for it and be like, this is going to be green, paint it green. Prime your minis. Get a primer, whether that's in a rattle can or if you're airbrushing or using the bristle brush, prime your miniatures. Now, there are some places where you don't have to prime them, like with Hero Forge, where you can order the pre-primed minis, which is great. But whatever you're doing, make sure that you prime your minis and play around, because you might find that a black prime gives you a better look for the base coat on it than a white prime, or vice versa. Prime your minis.
The next tip is use the correct brush size for the job you're doing. And this is one that I even still find myself defaulting to too small of a brush. If you're doing super fine detail, yes, use that super fine detail brush. But if you're using a really small brush to put on a base layer or to paint a large area of a mini, one, it's going to take you forever. And it's also going to make it a lot harder if you're doing any kind of wet blending or those kinds of techniques where you want the paint to still be a little wet before you add in the next color. It's going to dry way before you can ever get to that next set. So don't be afraid to use a larger brush when you need to. Today's video is sponsored by Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop miniatures. You can build a completely custom miniature, choosing from dozens of fantasy race templates, and then customizing them further by tuning their height, weight, hairstyle, facial expression, adding wings, horns, tails, and fins. And that's not even getting into all of the clothing and item options. You can mix and match parts to make a truly unique combination. So head on over to Hero Forge today to start building your custom miniature.
Keep in mind how far away your mini is most of the time. I think most of us, we paint a lot closer, but it's probably going to be sitting on a table, maybe a couple of feet away from you if you're sitting around playing a Pathfinder or a D&D game, or a lot farther away for you if you're at a big terrain map playing Warhammer or War Machine or something like that. And what might look really great just a few inches from your face, really fine detail and careful blends and transitions, a lot of the times it gets completely lost and washed out when the mini is 2, 3, 5 feet away. So from time to time, take a step back, look at it while it's sitting on the table, even just hold the mini at arm's length, and remember that you want to be able to see those details and see what the mini looks like so that it doesn't look really wonderful and dappled brown really close and is just a big brown blob once you put it on the table.
I know we've all seen those mini painting desks that have every color paint under the sun kind of spread out, and I love the idea of that, but you don't need to buy every color paint. If you're starting out painting miniatures, look at what colors you're going to need the most. I know a lot of different paint companies sell beginner sets, and those are a really good place to start because they'll have kind of the most common colors that you're going to need for painting minis, and then a couple of extras. If you're painting a Warhammer army, find the colors that are the main colors in your faction, and then you can mix paints for the rest of them. Really, if you really only need 5 colors of paint, white, black, yellow, red, and blue, and you could mix any other color. maybe not go that extreme. I very rarely paint a mini without mixing colors at some point, whether that's mixing to get a brand new color or just something in between two colors that I already have to have a little bit smoother transition in a highlight or something like that. So don't be afraid to mix your paints to get colors that you don't have.
And once you start mixing paints, write the recipe down.
Yes.
Have a notebook or something close, because you're going to kick yourself. Write them down.
Yeah, I talked about that in my first mini painting tip, which you can go, there's a link up in that corner that you can go watch that once you're done with this.
And my last tip is pull up reference pictures. Pull up pictures of what other people have done on your phone. Or if you're painting a dragon turtle, pick up a picture of what a turtle looks like. When I was painting something, I picked up pictures of what galaxies looks like. It's not cheating. It's smart. It's what all artists do. Go ahead and use a reference photo and have maybe almost like an inspiration board that you can pull up on a screen or on your phone while you're working on your mini. It's going to make your mini look better, and you might find some really cool ideas that you weren't even thinking of to begin with just by using a couple of reference shots.
All right, so those are the 6 things that we kind of wish we knew when we first started painting miniatures. Do you have any advice, things that you kind of wish you could go back and tell your younger self, do this, don't do this? Let's talk about it more down in the comments below.
If you like this video, I hope that you tag a friend and share it to help us grow. That would be really cool of you. And if you really, really liked the video, then head over to our Patreon, where you can check out the perks of being a patron.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye. Bye.